If you have seen our other videos on dating women, then you should know that a man who continuously improves and works on himself is one of the many things that can make a woman go crazy. So because of this, we thought that you might be curious to find out what exactly you should do. We acknowledge the importance of also having content centered on what particular skills or traits that women are actually looking for in a man, and well, that's exactly what we have in this video. So what are the skills that women find so attractive in the men? Like and subscribe, stay tuned. Cooking. The old saying that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. But what if I tell you that the same rule applies to the ladies? By standard society, women are always expected to be in charge of the kitchen. We are used to being the ones doing the cooking and serving food to our family members or our loved ones. And that's why it's often a surprise for women when a man knows how to cook. Now, I'm not talking about the basic kind of cooking here, like frying or boiling and poaching eggs. You have to do a lot better than that. Learn how to make meals that have a lot more ingredients required in the recipe. Now, a pro tip is to cook in front of the woman that you are trying to impress. Well, just thank me later. Know how to socialize. Our extroverted fellows may not need this anymore, as being sociable just comes naturally for you guys. So good on you. However, to those of you who may need a little bit more work on their people and social skills, well, you have to learn the basics on having a conversation and being able to sustain that conversation. I've had my fair share of dates with men who are on the more reserved side of the spectrum, and while they were pretty great guys that I would be totally down to move things forwards with, knowing that there are men who can lead a conversation looks more appealing to me. Besides, it's always a good indication of someone's actual social well-being if a man is capable of maintaining friendships. It's easier to relate it to being able to keep romantic relationships too. Reading. Is reading a skill? Not necessarily, but there are men who have never read a book, and I'm not including textbooks, in their entire life for various reasons. Some of them say that they have difficulty focusing on the book. Some would reason that it bores them. Some would say that they would rather watch the movie adaptation of a particular book. It's always a plus though when a man reads books. Why? Regardless of gender, we automatically associate book readers with intelligence. And there are so many things to learn from books, no matter what kind of genre you are reading. If it's fiction, this boosts your empathy, and an empathetic man is more attractive. If it's non-fiction, maybe you're reading self-help books, then all the better, because it shows that you are someone looking to improve your way of life and thinking. So either way, reading books of any genre is a big advantage. Playing a musical instrument. I bet that this one is something you might be familiar with already. After all, it's been repeatedly portrayed in movies how women would swoon over guys who play them a song on the guitar or some other musical instrument. There is just something so sweet and attractive about a man who can play a musical instrument. I guess it has to do with our love for music. Every day we listen to music while we are working, doing exercise, partying, cooking, reading, whatever. So for any kind of occasion, music is always there. So it doesn't come as a surprise when women find musically inclined men attractive and a lot hotter. Although it's not necessary, it's a bonus point if you can play the guitar and have a good singing voice too. That's a sure way to win our hearts. Good at sports or physical activities. Now, women tend to look at men as their protector and even savior to some degree. So if they find out that you are someone who is into sports, and I'm not just talking about someone who just loves to watch sports, but someone who actively plays the sport, it makes you automatically attractive. That's because men who act and look physically strong make the ladies feel that they can provide for them and protect them. And as much as we hate to admit that we don't need men and that we can do things on our own, there is still a pretty great number of women who would love to be offered help by men from time to time. Another thing that being sporty signifies is your passion for doing certain things. So if you are passionate about a sport, let's say for example football, then it means that you can care for something bigger than you. You have something going on with you aside your job. So instead of just being in front of your computer every day, why don't you try dabbling in a physical sport? Not only would it look great for the women, but it would also improve your overall health. double win. Being financially smart. While we would love to be indulged by our partners when it comes to our needs and even wants, the type of women who are looking for something long-term and serious would look for men who know how to budget properly. There is something incredibly sexy and it's very mysterious when a man knows where and when to spend his money. Learning about the basics of financial literacy can go a long way to impress a woman who can make her feel that you can provide for your relationship, or if you will ever actually become a proper relationship. Having a second language. Have you been watching a lot of Spanish series lately? Maybe German, maybe even Chinese. You might want to start to consider learning a new language if you are finding yourself inclining towards foreign shows or just anything foreign. Women would watch you in awe if you could speak with a stranger in a foreign country in their own language. And it's a bonus point if she doesn't know the language that you are speaking because, well, that would make you look incredibly more intelligent to them. Plus, you could make mistakes and she wouldn't know the otherwise. Learning a new language can often be associated with learning the country's culture, but also the people too. It will produce a holistic impact, not just on your intellectual capabilities, but your capability to discover a new world that is completely different from your home country. Emotional attunement. I cannot stress enough the importance of having this skill or trait. It's commonly overlooked, but it's definitely a must-have skill for men. Our society has tricked us into thinking that men must always be strong and macho, but it doesn't always have to be this way. Not always. I did mention that women want to be protected by a strong man, that is for definite, but at the same time, a man who knows how to get in touch with his emotional side is such a turn on. There is something attractive about a man who can talk about how he feels at the right time and in the right place. So what does this mean exactly? Well, it shows sincerity and your ability to show love and to feel love. And if you are able to balance being emotional with being logical at the same time, then you would be a perfect 10 straight away. So practice talking about feelings with your friends and also your family members. Remember that being emotional is totally different from a man who is pessimistic about everything. Be careful not to exaggerate being emotional and do it only with people that you have already established a genuine connection with. Skills are meant to be learned, so the skills or the traits that we mentioned today can be learned as long as you put in the effort to acquire them. You don't have to do all of them, just pick a couple that you resonated with the most. I would suggest going for ones that are aligned with your current values and beliefs. Honestly though, no one's going to stop you either if you decide to take them all off one by one. After all, you can never learn too much, right? So let us know, did we miss something in today's video? Is there a particular skill that you have practiced and you have actually managed to attract the woman of your dreams? Let us know in the comments below. If you think I missed something from today's video, let me know down in the comments. Give me a huge thumbs up and consider subscribing to make my day. But if you want to get your name rolling up next to my face, like these amazing people's names here, then all you have to do is click the link in the description bar below to find out a little bit more. Have an amazing day. See you soon.